All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're diving deep into hormonal optimization. We're not just going to talk about a few tips. We're going to build the complete, science-backed blueprint for maximizing your body's most powerful anabolic hormone, your natural testosterone. But hang on, before we start building, we have to ask a really important question. What if I told you that the single biggest thing holding you back from the strength, the energy, and the muscle you want isn't a missed workout or cheat meal? What if it's an enemy inside you, one that's actively destroying everything you're fighting for in the gym right at this very moment? Okay, here's our battle plan for today. First, we're going to define our goal. What is optimal testosterone? Then, we're going to identify the enemy. And finally, we'll lay out the exact game plan, training, nutrition, and lifestyle to get the win. So first up, let's talk about our hero, testosterone. And let's be crystal clear, this isn't just some male hormone. It's a foundational pillar of health and peak performance for both men and women. It runs everything from muscle mass to your mental game. For anyone who's serious about their potential, optimizing this isn't just a nice idea, it's everything. You know, the really cool thing about getting your testosterone levels right is how it creates this incredible upward spiral. More muscle means better body composition. A better mood and sharper focus mean you have more intense workouts. More energy means better recovery. See? Each benefit just feeds the next one, creating the perfect state for nonstop progress. That's the positive feedback loop we're aiming for.
Now, every good story needs a villain, right? Well, meet cortisol. It's made by your adrenal glands, and everyone calls it the stress hormone. Its main job is to put your body into fight or flight mode. And while that was great for our ancestors running from saber-toothed tigers, in our modern world, that response can get stuck in the on position, and that's when it gets really destructive.
Look, in short bursts, that fight or flight thing can save your life. But when it becomes chronic, because of work stress, not enough sleep, or even just overtraining, cortisol becomes catabolic. What does that mean? It means it actively tears down your hard-earned muscle tissue and uses it for fuel. It is the literal biological opposite of the anabolic muscle-building state we are all working so hard to achieve. And this right here, this illustrates the core conflict perfectly. Just think of testosterone and cortisol on a seesaw. When one goes up, the other has to come down. Chronic stress from your job, from your life, even from too much training without enough recovery is going to spike your cortisol. And that will directly, and I'm going to directly crush your testosterone production. So the main takeaway is this. You absolutely cannot optimize testosterone without actively managing your cortisol. So let's move to our first line of attack, the gym. Because the right kind of training does way more than just tear up muscle fibers. It sends a massive system-wide anabolic signal to your entire body, basically telling it to ramp up testosterone production. This is where we tell our body to grow. Now, this isn't about just getting a pump. This is a targeted protocol. First, you've got to focus on the big, heavy compound lifts, squats, deadlifts, presses, because they create the biggest hormonal response. Second, you have to push the intensity, really living in that 70 to 85% range of your 1 rep max. And third, keeping those rest periods tight, around 30 to 60 seconds, maintains the kind of metabolic stress that really gets those hormones firing. Next up, let's talk about fuel. I want you to think of your diet as the supply chain for your body's hormone factory. Your training sends the order, but your food provides the actual raw materials your body needs to build testosterone. You just can't out-train a diet that's starving your body of these essential building blocks. It's impossible. So, this is your 3-part fueling strategy. Getting your macros right is the foundation. You need protein for repair, carbs to fuel those intense workouts, and healthy fats. Well, they're absolutely critical because cholesterol is the precursor molecule your body literally uses to make steroid hormones like testosterone. Then you hunt down the key micronutrients that act like spark plugs for the whole process. And finally, you have to eliminate the dietary enemies that are actively waging war on your hormones. So let's zoom in on these micronutrient superstars. For zinc, you've got powerhouses like oysters and red meat. For vitamin D, you're looking at fatty fish and egg yolks. For magnesium, think leafy greens and nuts. Are you seeing a pattern here? It's all about real, whole, unprocessed foods. These aren't some exotic, hard-to-find ingredients. They are the bedrock of any serious performance diet. Let's just take zinc as an example. This stuff isn't just helpful. It is a fundamental building block.
It's directly involved in the process that turns cholesterol into testosterone. That means if you're even a little bit deficient in zinc, your body's entire production line slows right down. You've created a bottleneck. And the science on this is, well, it's potent. Getting enough zinc isn't just about testosterone. It's directly linked to reproductive health, which is one of the best indicators of a healthy hormonal system. A 74% improvement in a study is a massive signal of just how critical this mineral really is. Now, what about vitamin D? People call it the sunshine vitamin, but really it acts more like a steroid hormone in your body. It is another absolute powerhouse. So one study took men with low vitamin D levels and had them supplement with about 3,000 IUs of D3 every day for a year. And the result? A 25% increase in their total testosterone. I mean, think about that. For the huge number of us who work indoors or live in colder places, this is a total game changer. Just fixing a super common deficiency with some sun or a supplement can give you a really significant, measurable boost. This brings us to our final, and you know what? Arguably the most overlooked battlefront, your lifestyle. This is where we go on the attack. This is where we directly target high cortisol to protect our testosterone. For a lot of people, the gains you can make here are faster and bigger than anything you can do in the gym. So, what's the number one weapon cortisol uses against you? It's sleep deprivation. We all know a bad night of sleep feels terrible. We just kind of brush it off. But let's actually put a number on it. How much hormonal damage does just one single bad night of sleep really do? The research it's honestly shocking. Sleeping just 5 hours in one night can cause a 15% drop in your testosterone levels the very next day. Let that sink in for a second. One bad night of sleep can have the same negative impact as aging 10 to 15 years. It can wipe out weeks of hard work. This is a huge deal. So your strategy here is simple, but it is absolutely non-negotiable. You have to make 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep a top priority and treat it with the same discipline as your training. You've got to actively build in habits that lower stress, like meditation, or even just making time for a hobby you love. These are not soft suggestions. These are hardcore anti-cortisol tactics. All right, let's put it all together now. This isn't some quick fix or a 30-day challenge. This is a complete blueprint for creating a sustainable system, something that supports lifelong hormonal health and peak performance. This is how you build a body that works for you, not against you. And this is it, the whole plan. And you can see how each point works with the others. It's a powerful feedback loop. Smart training signals your body to produce more T. The right food gives it the building blocks. And mastering your sleep and crushing stress stops your enemy, cortisol, from ruining the whole party. You master these 5 things, and you create an internal environment where optimal testosterone isn't just possible, it's inevitable. Remember, science is constantly evolving. To make sure you don't miss the next scientific analysis and protocol, turn on notifications and subscribe. See you in the next video, and let's meet in the comments to discuss what topic we should cover next.